Brahms' Requiem numbers in the top 10 greatest choral orchestral works of all time, and is routinely programmed in symphonies and symphony programs and chorus programs across the globe, and is a perennial favorite for anybody who's ever sung in a chorus. Particularly for the Back Bay Chorale, the Brahms Requiem is a favorite piece of ours, and it was the favorite piece of chorale founder Larry Hill, and it has been sung at our past several anniversaries, most recently in our 35th anniversary season. And it's just one of those pieces that our chorus loves to sing. For audiences and for choruses who are responsible for transmitting the music and the meaning of the music, the Brahms Requiem is a monument of great consolation. And its texts are religious. They're taken from, in the German text, from the Luther Bible. But they don't focus on the departed soul in the way that a Catholic Requiem Mass does, say in the case of the Verdi Requiem or the Mozart Requiem. But the Brahms Requiem is intended rather to focus on consoling those who are left behind. So its texts are comforting to those who are grieving or who have experienced loss. And for those of us who sing this piece and come to this piece time and again in our lives, every year, every time we come to it, loss can mean something different. And the piece has tremendous enduring value because of that. Besides the fact that it's Brahms's largest scaled work. The four symphonies are all shorter than the Brahms Requiem. It's about slightly more than 80 minutes of music. So in many ways, it's Brahms' it's his largest scale work of his greatest conception. Recently, I had occasion to collaborate with a professional chorus based out of Miami. They're called Seraphic Fire. And their artistic director is a good friend of mine, and he had the idea to take a look at the Brahms Requiem, but from a different perspective. And in the 19th century, of course, in an age before technology made recordings possible, composers often set these larger works that were originally conceived of for orchestra. Composers would make a version of them for piano, four hands, or for two people to play the piano, and thereby learn the score that way. So if you were a musician, amateur musician, you could go to your local music store, buy the music, and then you could go home and sit at the piano with, a friend or significant other or whatever, and learn how the piece goes by playing it in the piano four-hand version. And we know that the first performance of the Brahms Requiem to take place in England was at a London salon party in this version. The singers making up a small chorus, and then two people playing the piano. And so Seraphic Fire's concept was to record this version of the Brahms Requiem, and Justin Blackwell, who is the assistant conductor of the Back Bay Chorale, along with me, were hired to play the piano part for this recording of the Brahms Requiem. And it was a great experience, and turns out it won pretty good critical acclaim and was nominated most recently for a Grammy in the category of Best Choral Performance. The value of that experience for me, I've done this piece many times, both as a chorister, as a conductor, and as somebody who prepares the chorus, as I'm doing right now for Federico Cortese. The value of this experience with the Grammy-nominated disc is that it allowed me to experience the piece in a chamber setting. Rather than a huge chorus and a huge orchestra, the piece revealed itself in a much more intimate way. And we were able to offer maybe a different kind of nuance with each movement, and to reveal some more delicacy and intricacy within all the musical materials. And in some ways, it was like doing the piece for the first time, which is why this collaboration with the Boston Youth Symphony Orchestra is so special for those of us in the Back Bay Chorale, for myself included. We assume, and I hope, that it's the first time that most of these students have played the Brahms Requiem, a piece that is so dear and so important to all of us. And the thrill to be able to share in that first-time experience with this piece with the young musicians of Boston Youth Symphony Orchestra is a spectacular opportunity. And I'm thrilled to work with Maestro Cortese and to see this process revealed for these students as they get to experience this work for the very first time. Most orchestral players, when they come to a concert in which they are collaborating with, or maybe in a, not as kind of word, accompanying a chorus or other vocal soloist, tend to regard the experience maybe not as good as playing something that's purely an orchestral feature. And I hope that the young musicians in BYSO will come to realize that the musical materials in the Brahms Requiem, from the wind parts to all of the string writing, is every bit as important as the choral line or the solo lines. It's all of a piece, and they can't exist one without the other. And I think it shows real courage and bravery for the orchestra and for Maestro Cortese to plan and to program a piece which so prominently features a chorus. But I think our audience and the players will realize that the orchestral materials are every bit as complex and gratifying to play and to hear as it is for the singers to sing. And so the music, the lines within the orchestral writing are incredibly vocal and lyrical, but gratifying to play and offer wonderful opportunity for personal and corporate musicianship, and for chamber music writ large, for us to interact with one another as we sing a line, as you play a line, as we hear the lines together, to really bring the music, bring all the music out desk by desk, part by part.